貨店、
金額、
レシ
住所、住所、
ここに住所を書いてください。
電話をかける、
会社に
コンサート、
コンサートに行きました。新宿、
もし、
もし、たら、
さようなら。
さような
りんご、
製品、
せ
趣味、
趣味はカラオケ、資料、
これは会議、
払う、
払う、ローマ字、
辞書、
日本語の辞書を買いました。手伝う、
父の仕事を手伝います。
外国、
外国、
外国、カナダ、
一台、
韓国、
窓、
窓、
窓、2日、メガネ、
もらう、
もらう、番組、
銀座、
2分、
福岡、茶道、
故障、
会社員、
病院、
病院、柔道、
調子、
電子辞書、
新聞、せ
さようなら。銀座、
窓、
窓、韓国、
窓。
I am Kurang from Kawajapa. Today we are going to talk about Japanese conjugation. Which particular conjugation, you may ask? Well, all of them, except for the ta and te form, which we will discuss in a different video. Why are we dealing with them all at once? Because we can. Because Japanese conjugation all works the same way. It's very simple, very logical, and very consistent, and very, very easy to understand. However, when we look in a textbook, we get the impression of lots of different rules and forms that you have to learn for each particular conjugation. Why is that? Why do the textbooks make it seem so complicated when it's actually so very simple? Two reasons. The first is that they insist on this European concept of conjugation. Actually, what we're doing is not conjugation at all. What we're doing all the time is attaching a simple helper verb or helper adjective or helper noun to the stems of the verb. And once we see how that works, it becomes very, very simple and easy to understand. The other problem is that they spend a lot of time explaining the changes that take place in terms of the Roman sound system, the alphabet. But in fact, that causes a lot of confusion and difficulty. Once we see it in the terms it actually exists in, that is to say, the Japanese sound system, it all becomes very logical. I would say it is 100% consistent, logical, and simple. Except that there is one exception in the whole system, and there are two irregular verbs, so perhaps we'd better say 99.9% logical, consistent, and easy to understand. Alright, so let's give you the master chart, which will show you how all of this works. Chart o kudasai. So, here is the familiar Japanese kana chart with all the sounds of Japanese. I turn it on its side for reasons which will become apparent shortly. All Japanese verbs end with one of the kana in the middle row. It looks like a column because I've turned it on its side. That is the u row, u, ku, su, tsu, nu, etc. However, there is no verb ending in u, so we can get rid of these two columns and simplify the chart. Actually, there is only one verb that ends in nu, that's shinu, to die. So we could get rid of that too and make it look even simpler, but I'm keeping it in for completeness. So every verb ends with one of the kana in the red box. Let's have an example of each of the possible endings. Kau, buy, kiku, hear, hanasu, speak, motsu, hold, shinu, die, tobu, fly, nomu, drink, toru, take. Now, as you can see, there are 4 other possible endings that the verbs could have. And in fact, each of those endings is used. And when we use one of the other endings, the verb stops being a verb and becomes what I call a sticky stem. That is, a stem to which we stick something else. So, here is the I stem. With the I sticky stem, we change the uro kana to the corresponding iro kana. So, kau becomes kai, kiku becomes kiki, hanasu becomes hanashi, and so forth. What do we do with the iro sticky stem? Well, the thing that you have all seen, I'm sure, is we can attach the helper verb masu to the iro sticky stem. Masu is not a conjugation, it is a verb. It's a helper verb and it attaches to the iro sticky stem. It does not change the meaning of the verb, but it makes it formal. So, kau is the regular informal version, meaning buy. Kai masu is the formal version. Kiku is the informal version. Here, kiki masu is the formal version. What else do we do with the iro sticky stem? Well, we can attach the helper adjective tai. Tai is a helper adjective which means want. So, kai tai means want to buy. Kiki tai want to hear. Hanashi tai want to speak, and so forth. We also use the iro sticky stem for attaching nouns in order to convert a verb into a new noun. So, kai mono, that is buy thing, means shopping. Nomi mono, drink thing, means a drink. Hanashi kata, kata means form or shape. Hanashi kata means way of speaking, manner of speaking. So now we know how to attach all these except for what are called ru verbs, the ichiran verbs. And they are very, very, very simple because all you ever do with these ever is simply cut off the ru and you have all the possible sticky stems of the ichiran verb. So taberu simply becomes tabe. Tabemasu is the formal form of the verb. Tabetai, want to eat. Tabemono, eat thing, food. So now we come to the aro sticky stem. And this has one exception. And you say, languages full of exceptions. This is the only exception in the whole system. And it's a very natural one that you can well understand. The ending verb does not become ka-a, it becomes ka-wa, which is a lot easier to say and understand in conversation, isn't it? So, kau does not become ka-nai, it becomes kawa-nai. So, what do we use the a ending stem for? I've already mentioned it. Probably the most common use is to attach the helper adjective nai to the sticky stem of a verb. It attaches to the a sticky stem. So, kau, buy, becomes kawa, nai, not buy. Kiku becomes kika, nai, not hear. Hanasu becomes hanasa, nai, not speak, and so forth. It's very simple. We also use the a sticky stem for the causative and the so-called passive forms of verbs, and these conjugations often give beginners quite a lot of trouble. And I have made videos that show how simple they really are, how they work, what they mean, and how simple it really is if you understand them the way they actually are. Today, we're just going to look at the structure. So, the causative form of verb, which means to allow someone to do something or make someone do something, is formed by attaching attaching the helper verb seru saseru to the aro sticky stem. Now I say seru saseru, what does Hello pretty peoples, Kawajapa no Kyodori desu. I am Kyodori from Kawajapa. Today we are going to talk about the so-called passive form of Japanese verbs. The first thing to know about this is that it is not passive. This is extremely important. In Japanese, the so-called passive is called the ukemi, which means the receiving body, and this is exactly what it is. It is the receptive form of verbs. What does this mean, and why does this matter? First of all, let's look at why it matters. It matters because it not only makes the passive itself much more complicated than it needs to be, it introduces apparently random rules into what is in fact a completely straightforward piece of grammar. But more importantly than that, it confuses our entire grasp of how Japanese really works. As I have explained to you from the beginning, the ga particle is the heart of every Japanese sentence, whether you can see it or not. Every Japanese sentence hinges on the ga. The structure of Japanese grammar is ga structure. Now, when we treat the receiving form of verbs as passive, it completely throws that into chaos and confusion. Suddenly, ni is doing what ga ought to do, and ga is doing something inexplicable. But in fact, the receptive form of Japanese verbs is not passive, so this actually isn't really happening at all. Let me explain. Let's take an English passive sentence. I was hit by Mary. That is an actual passive sentence, and the actor of that sentence is Mary, and the receiver of the action is me. This is not what the Japanese receptive is doing. Let's take another English sentence. I received a blow from Mary. Now the meaning is the same, but this is not a passive sentence, is it? The action of the sentence is receiving the blow, and the person who does that is not Mary, it's me. And this is how the Japanese receptive tense works. Let's put it into Japanese. Watashi wa Mary ni boru wo nagerareta. Who is the doer of this sentence? The doer of the sentence is me. I am the one who received the ball. So why is Mary marked by ni? In our lesson on ni, we showed how ni marks the indirect object of a verb. So if we say, I threw the ball at Mary, the ball is what I threw, and the ultimate target of that action is Mary. Watashi ga Mary ni boru wo nageta. However, in a receiving sentence, the actor of the sentence is the receiver, and the ultimate target of that sentence is replaced by the ultimate source. In a receiving sentence, the target changes places with the source, and that's the only change in Japanese grammar that takes place in the receiving form. The doer, the throw receiver, is marked by ga, as the doer of a sentence always is. The direct object, the ball, the thing that was actually thrown, is marked by wo, as the direct object of a sentence always is. The ultimate target of the sentence, since it is a receptive sentence, is the ultimate source of the action, and that is marked by ni. So now we see that the receptive sentence is not confusing at all, and it does not throw Japanese grammar into complete confusion. It only does that if you insist on regarding it as if it were an English passive sentence, which it is not. Very well. Now, the English language textbooks treat the receptive form as if it were a conjugation of the verb. But in Japanese, that's not how we see it. In Japanese, there is a helper verb, reru or rareru, which can be put onto the end of any verb. If it's an ichidan verb, we replace the ru with rareru. If it's a godan verb, we attach reru to the plain past stem of the verb, that is the a ending stem of the verb. And once we've done that, we have created a compound verb that means receiving the action of the original verb. In English, this is done, but it's relatively rare. We can talk about receiving a blow or receiving a present. We don't usually talk about receiving the drinking of something or receiving something being said, but in Japanese we do. There is a helper verb that is commonly used and can turn any ordinary verb into a receptive verb. So, let's see how that works in a case where we wouldn't usually use receive in English. Mizu ga inu ni nomareta. In English, this would usually be translated as the water was drunk by the dog, and probably there is no other natural way of translating it into English. That's alright. But if we imagine that what it actually means is the water was drunk by the dog, Japanese grammar is thrown into chaos and confusion. What it actually means is the water drink received from the dog. The actor, the subject, the doer of this sentence is not the dog. It is the water. Now, I realize that this comes as a surprise to many Western learners of Japanese, but it should not come as a surprise to you. I have explained in detail in my lesson on the structure of Japanese how Japanese does not have the same very strong preference for the actor or doer of a sentence to be a person or even necessarily an animate being. It is the failure to understand this that is the root cause of a very large proportion of the confusion and misunderstanding that surrounds the learning of Japanese in the West. In Japanese, we have a receptive helper verb which can and often is added to other verbs to make them receptive. Once we understand this, we understand how Japanese is perfectly logical and regular, and the so-called passive, the receptive form, is very easy to form, to understand, and to know which particles to use. does that mean? Well, it means that there are actually two forms of this helper verb. Seru attaches to all those sticky stems that we're working with, all the ones that change, and saseru attaches to the ichidan, the so-called ru verb, sticky stem. Where there is a slight variation in the helper verb, we always find that the longer version goes on to the ichidan verb, because that verb is generally shorter. The ichidan verb, we take off the whole last syllable. With the godan verbs, the changing sticky stems, we don't take off the last syllable, we change it to a different sound. So, seru, saseru makes the causative form of a verb. Kau becomes kawa, seru. Allow to buy, make to buy. Hanasu becomes hanasa, seru. Allow to speak, make to speak. Nomu becomes noma, seru. Allow to drink, make to drink. And taberu becomes tabe, saseru. Allow to eat, make to eat. The so-called passive, which is not really passive, and we have a video helping you with understanding what it really does and how simple that really is. The so-called passive, the receptive form, is formed with the helper verb reru, rareru. So, ka becomes kawareru, which means get bored, be bored, get bored. Get bored is better because that's closer to what the Japanese really means, and you'll understand that when you see the video. Kiku becomes kika, reru, get heard. Nomu becomes noma, reru, get drunk. I don't mean become intoxicated, I mean the way the cup of coffee got drunk. Taberu becomes taberareru, get eaten. So as you see, there are really, apart from that one exception, there are not lots and lots of different ways of attaching these together. It's because it's presented as a conjugation and because it's explained as if it was written in Roman letters that the confusion arises. We can see that it's actually very, very regular. We just shift to the arrow and add the helper adjective nai, the helper verb reru, rareru, the helper verb seru, saseru, and it's just as simple as that. Now we come to the arrow sticky stem just like the others. It's perfectly consistent. You just change the ro kana into the corresponding ro kana. So kau becomes kae, kiku becomes kike, hanasu becomes hanase, and so forth. We use the ro sticky stem to create the potential form of verbs, which means you can do the verb. The helper verb, which is stuck onto the ero sticky stem, is ru, dareru, and yes, even though it's simply ru, just that one character, it is a helper verb. If you look it up in a Japanese dictionary, not a Japanese English dictionary, but a real Japanese dictionary, you'll find ru there as a joroshi, a helper verb, and it has these two forms, ru and rareru. Rareru is, you will have noticed, the same as the so-called passive, reru, rareru. So the ichidan form of the passive and the potential are the same, but because they are used very, very differently, there are very, very few occasions on which you would confuse the two, so it's not really a problem. So we have kaeru, kanmai, kikeru, can hear, hanaseru, can speak, and so forth, plus taberareru, can eat. So, now we come to the last sticky stem, the O sticky stem, and just as with the others, it's perfectly consistent. Kau becomes kao, kiku becomes kiko, hanasu becomes hanaso, and what we do with this sticky stem is attach u, and as you know, u, when attached to o, generally lengthens the o. So kao doesn't become kau, it becomes kao. Kiku becomes kiko, hanasu becomes hanaso, and the volitional has a number of uses, and I'm only talking about structure here, so I'll just use one of the uses. Kau becomes kao, let's buy, kiku becomes kiko, let's listen, let's hear. Hanasu becomes hanaso, let's talk. In the ichidan form, we add yo to the end of the ichidan sticky stem. So, taberu becomes tabeyo. Let's eat. One peculiarity of the volitional form is that you can also make it by changing the form of masu to use the volitional in its formal mode. And when you do this, you say masho instead of masu. And when you do this naturally enough, you use the i-ro sticky stem just as you do with regular masu. So, ikimasho, let's go. So now you have the master keys to nearly the whole of the Japanese so-called conjugation system. And as you now know, it's not conjugation at all. The only thing we haven't covered is the ta and te forms of verbs, which perhaps are closer to being conjugations. And fortunately, ta and te work identically, so once you know one, you know the other, and we will cover that in a future video. You may not be able to